At the beginning of the week, I was all excited when we started reading the readings early in the week, and I thought, this is a beautiful weekend with our Fatima statue, and I was hoping the readings, especially the gospel, would coincide with what is going on this weekend. And I read the readings, and of course, this is what it talks about. Wars, incredible dissensions, earthquakes, famines, plagues. Christians will be persecuted. You'll be betrayed by family members and relatives, and you'll be hated. I thought, great. And then it adds with a nice little positive note, my friends, but not a hair in your head will ever be missing. But the church always reflects at this time of year. Next Sunday is the last Sunday of the year, the church year. First Sunday of Advent will be the first meeting of the church year. That's how the church works. So in always these last few weeks of the church year, they always talk about end times. I was talking with a wonderful person this past week, and she was telling me how she just came back from her lawyer working on her will, and she was really bothered by that, and she couldn't understand why. And I said to her, it's difficult. No one wants to think about, talk about our end of our life. And I was thinking, I said to her, I'm not a big Woody Allen fan, but he had that quote. He said, you can't whistle a tune and think or talk about your own immortality. And how true that is, isn't it? We don't like to think about it, but the church at this time of year forces us to reflect on it. Why? Because we need to change here on earth, because we can't change thereafter. We need to change our behaviors, our weaknesses, our failings here, because we can't change in the life thereafter. That's why it's critical that all of us reflect on this topic of our mortality, especially at this time of year. And then we get into this gospel, where it talks about all those natural disasters, all the uncertainties of life. And my friends, we have two choices when we face those challenges of life, plagues and persecutions and all those areas. Two choices. We either run to our God, or we run away from Him. We either run to Him, or we run away from Him. And many people today question that whole reason of God. I don't believe in God because of all these things. It's part of life, my friends. I don't like it. You don't like it. But it's part of life. And we need to do the best we can with our lives, don't we? So that last line tells us to persevere to the end. It's saying, be faithful. Being faithful. What happens when we're faithful during those times of uncertainty and challenges of life? What happens to us? There was a beautiful story that I read this past week. It was written by Craig Larson. He's a Christian author, and he was writing about a high school gymnast coach called Steve Kafka. He was just voted into the Illinois High School Gymnastics Hall of Fame. And he was a great coach, but in his early years of coaching, he had some phenomenal athletes. And he was depicted to win states 3 years in a row. And when he and his girls went to states, they finished on the bottom rung of the ladder. Because every single one of those girls would make a mistake on one of their routines. And after the third year in a row of this, he thought to himself, he needs to change his practices. So what he started doing was, each one of the girls that had their events, whether it was a side horse or any of the other things that they would do their events, they would circle around the girls, and if they missed or messed up their routine, the whole team did push-ups. And then when they were doing the actual routine, these girls, as they were circling around the event, would yell, throw socks at these girls as they were performing, laugh at them, trying to get them round. The coach was trying to say to them, he wanted the real meets to be a breeze compared to practice. He said fighting daily opposition taught his girls focus and determination. And that's what happens, my friends. If we are faithful during those times in our lives, we leave with a great focus and a great determination with our faith. So in some respects, it's a great gift. It's a great gift. On a kind of a cold winter October afternoon in 1982, in Badger Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin, it was packed. University of Wisconsin was playing Michigan State. Michigan State had the ball. First, they scored a touchdown. University of Wisconsin takes the ball, turns it over. Michigan State scores another touchdown. And the game went like that for the rest of the game. But it was weird because the announcers, as they watched this game, as the game went on and University of Wisconsin was losing even more, the cheers in the stadium were getting louder and louder. And occasionally there was great applause, great laughter, and they couldn't figure out why or how this was happening. After the game was over, of course, almost 80% of the people in that stadium were laughing and carrying on, and they left all in a great mood. It turned out that 70 miles away, the Milwaukee Brewers had beaten the St. Louis Cardinals in the third game of the World Series, and they were listening to that in their portable radios. Something unseen over here affected their behavior over here. Something that was unseen 70 miles away affected their attitude here. Amazing. See that statue there, my friends? Everyone in church can see that statue. It says, "Do not touch me, I will touch you." You can't see her touch you, my friends. But I say something today. If you open your heart, she will touch your heart. You can't see it, my friends, but she will touch your heart. Don't touch me, I'll touch you. That's how our faith works, my friends. If we are open, we can't see it, but it happens. It happens. And that's what's beautiful about our faith, my friends. The beautiful, just like those people left that stadium, we're touched by her. We leave those doors, and maybe those challenges, uncertainties of life are still there. But now we face them with a greater courage and strength. And that's the purpose of our faith. That is the purpose of our faith. And so today, my friends, as we have this beautiful statue to remember this weekend, may we take those words to heart. Do not touch her, she will touch you. And when she touches you, my friends, she will give and fill your heart with the strength